Hello and welcome again to the Stay-at-Home Dad Gamer, and we are playing some more Monster Hunter, of course. We are tracking the Trickster, which would be against the Qurupeco again. Get some good hunter rank, get some good items. I'd also like to improve my fire hammer. This hammer is from the Qurupeco, and I needed a second one because it also becomes the Numbing Bird, which is a really good paralysis hammer that I used to use. So yet another reason to fight him. Get some good parts, get some more hunter points, rank up maybe. Now with this one, we have Mark, my mentor, and Tiberius. Excuse me. Little backstory for this one is, well, we had good old Coot with us, and he wanted some high rank items that you can't really trade, and I guess didn't know that. I don't know. You'd think he might know better, but he couldn't get them, and Tiberius wanted to give them to him, so he had to leave. Well, I think he was switching characters, and Mark was kind of left out of a mission earlier by Coot, so he was pretty much just waiting for an opportunity to ditch him. So this seemed like a good one. Ooh, and I just get slammed when I went in on the Qurupeco there. Get the charge. I didn't have much stamina, so I couldn't really have dodged. Now I'm just trying to stay out of the way. I'm not really being very smart fighting a fire monster with a fire hammer, but oh, he's been knocked down, so I should go for the head now. A good hammer user will always go for the head. A bit crazy to fight it like that, but it's so useful to everybody. Oh, gotta heal, because I'm under half. Well, you don't necessarily need to top off with every fight. It's not a bad idea. In fact, it's a great idea to stay really high on HP. You don't necessarily need 100%. It's not worth wasting a potion to get 10-15% unless it's a super dangerous monster. Oh, and there I just blew Tiberius away because he's at the head of the monster. No offense to Tiberius. He knows what he's doing for the most part, but longsword probably shouldn't be the... Oh, great, the Rathian. So the Qurupeco there mimicked the call of a Rathalos, and that summoned a Rathian. So now we have double trouble here. Although I actually believe there is a mission called Double Trouble, so shouldn't really confuse the two. But this is a very dangerous proposition. I'm not really armored to fight a Rathian. I'm very good at fighting a Rathian. I fought her so much in the PSP one, and in this game she added a few new attacks, but not really enough to... and then she ran over me because I rolled one way. I'm betting I tried to roll the other way. Oh, and the Qurupeco fell down. But yeah, I'm not really geared for this, and well, the Rathian, it hits hard. She's still tough. I fought her a lot. I know how to fight her. I'm good at fighting her. That doesn't mean I'm perfect. I still get hit, still get sloppy. There's still Monster Hunter BS that catches you, so I don't want to take my chances. One thing you have to keep in mind is most monsters in this you have to respect. And that goes for everyone. Even Mark. There's a lot of times he stops. Oh, I get caught with a fireball and I just go down. And, oh, I think Mark already exited. At some point his internet crapped out for even just a couple seconds, and it just boots you automatically, and there's no way to get back in, which really sucks. So I was looking there, and yeah, I have negative fire, so I take more damage from fire, hence why it just dropped me. I'll take those, or not. Oh, I can't. You can only hold it. No, I should be able to take it. Oh well. I guess I'm being nice to Tiberius, since he's a much higher rank and should have stronger weapons. He's probably going to be doing... He's likely going to be doing most of the work. Time to head... I'm rationed up, so I got a lot of stamina. Time to head back to the melee. Or melee. Now the mission is to get the Qurupeco. We have to trap him. We can't kill him. And trapping is a very useful skill to learn in this game. I recommend trapping everything you can. And she's probably going to run. Oh, no. Because when you trap it, you get an extra item at the end versus if you had just killed it and carved it. Plus, you can trap them when they're at, I think, 25% HP. So you can actually end it faster if you prepare ahead and trap them instead. There's really no downside except that it costs some items. But you get an extra item and it's faster. And some missions require it. But if they require it, they tend, early on, they give you an easy trap. So you get a free trap and they give you tranks for it. So if you know how to do it, you don't actually lose any of your own items, which is even better. And the Qurupeco there, he can actually do a cry that heals himself and the monster for a little. But if you hit him while he's doing it, it will actually heal the party, which is actually really cool. Mark prides himself on getting the monster to heal us. I'm going to fight the Rathian here, and if you may notice, but the Rathian doesn't turn every degree. The Rathalos and the Rathian, I believe the Rathalos, but they both, yep, there it tried to heal him. But the Rathian and I believe Rathalos turn at certain angles. Like you can see, she turns at about a 80 or 90 degree angle about. So there's a kind of like a dead area where she cannot turn, and it's good to try and take advantage of that. So you stand far enough that one turn won't get her to look directly at you, and then the second turn will move you past. So you basically charge your hammer. You'll probably see me do this numerous times throughout the videos. But you charge the hammer, you go a little bit off the angle, start doing it, she'll turn, and then bow, you hit her in the head, and she has to turn again, and you roll to the side that she was. And it's pretty easy to avoid getting hit by her. And then she took off, and the Qurupeco took off, and they're both painted, thankfully, for now, at least. And Tiberius is pinging me. I think that's where the Rathian went. Considering the quest will end if we kill the Qurupeco, it's just good business to kill the Rathian first if you can, and he's a high enough rank you can, so let's drink a cold drink. Because it's... No, let's get a hot drink. There we go. Alright. Because it's cold in the desert. We don't want to lose stamina. You lose stamina if it's too cold, and you lose, I believe, just HP if it's too hot. But they tend to, or at least early on, they give you hot and cold drinks, so it's not really an issue. Oh, Mr. there. Ooh, that flip kick is probably her most dangerous attack. It does a lot of damage, knocks you up, and poisons you. So likely when you get up, you're just going to die of poison if you're too weak. Hit her when she lands. It's always a good time. That turn. Oh. And she has that triple fireball there. She'll shoot out one fireball. She'll shoot a spread of 3. Just straight ahead, then right or left. Or right and then left. Excuse me. And then when she's angry, she has like a burst fireball that'll go a little bit in front of her. She steps back to do it. And she'll do it in front of her, and it does like an AoE. And of course, the insufferable tail whip that I believe every monster ever has in these games. Even if they have a little nub for a tail. I might as well kill that one, the little tiny bug. And here she comes. Oh, and oh, she's tired. And when she's tired, she falls down after the run, which is a great time to get her. Oh, look out me. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Oh, and also, she can't shoot fireballs when she's tired. It just comes out like a puff of smoke. You might be able to be damaged if you're right in front of her, but it doesn't actually shoot anything out, which is really awesome. She's one of the monsters that becomes way easier when she's tired. And you can probably tell it earlier when she was tired because she'll be drooling. And she took off, and oh, she's going to go for backup. Now I'd like to note that the monsters don't exactly work together. Oh, she's flying over it. There's the Qurupeco. He's just chilling. Sorry, Qurupeco, however you're supposed to say it. we're killing the Rathian first, because why not? Get some extra stuff. I'll sneak up on her, sorta. Oh, I think she's gonna go eat, or try to eat from the corpse there. There's like a perma-corpse around. And I hit her and she didn't care. Yep, she's eating. There's like a perma-corpse there. And when they're tired, they like to go eat. Well, some of the monsters do. And it's good. Get a few cheap shots on her while she's too busy eating. Oh, and the washing machine goes. And Rathian there will do tail whips in groups of 2. So she won't do 1. She'll do 2 or 4, maybe 6. I don't know if I've seen that. Can't remember offhand. Sorry. And she's angry. So I better drink some first aid meds. Yeah, there's that burst fireball I was talking about earlier. Ooh. Bit close for comfort, so I have Superman there. Oh, and she's knocked down, but I'm of course nowhere near her. So I'm going to go and take a cheap shot at her head and whiff completely and just get a tail for my trouble. I should note that as the blade user, Tiberius should be trying to cut off her tail, but a Rathian's tail is actually kind of hard to hit because as you see her stance, her head is low but her tail is high, kind of like a seesaw. So it's easier for me to hit her head, but it's actually somewhat harder for a blade person to cut off a Rathian's tail versus some of the other monsters. Of course, at some point you may see the Barath, and I hate hitting him in the face. That's a dangerous prospect, but it's my job, so I got to do it. Let's try to sneak in on her, get a super pound on her head. Triple fireball. Ooh, but she was staggered. Try and land to her. Ooh, and I stunned her. Which is good, because that was a pretty scary place. It happens more often than you'd think it would, where you hit a monster right when it's going to attack and you stagger it. And her right wing, is broken. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you see the 2 together, oh, and she's angry. But if you see the 2 together, you can see like little white tips on the claws on her wing, which means it's broken, where the other side it's just straight up claws. The other ones are basically broken. And I believe you get an extra drop if you break her wings, 1 per wing. Also, you can break her face and cut off her tail. You can maim her pretty bad. And up burst fireball because she backed up. I decided to dodge to drop my hammer charge. We're tearing into her actually pretty well. And here's a good shot at her head. Hopefully she'll turn. Not really, but oh, triple. So let's hit her. Her head's already broken. Oh. And she's enraged. That is a lot. It's kind of hard to tell. And oh. I think I just ripped her off. That's Monster Hunter, though. Sometimes you cheat the monsters, and sometimes the monsters cheat you. And she just paid me back. She didn't like me healing, so she ran me over. Thanks, Rathian. I love you too. And I'm trying to get away a little bit so I can sneak in a heal. Don't really want to take the Mega Potion, but I feel like I should contribute, so I don't want to run around until all my red comes back. It's the smartest idea, but I always feel like I'm mooching, so I don't like to do that. Although if I'm playing with Mark and his brother, I'll usually do it, because they know the score. They know me. I've played with them in person. And, oh, the Rathian wasn't painted anymore. I believe that's the Qurupeco over there. Yep, here she comes again. Hey, Rathian, what's going on? Most times they fly to just one and chase. Oh, she's angry. But because she knocked me over with her foot, I took a little bit of damage, but I was also safe from the tail whip, which was really nice. It's much better to kind of get hit by their feet. You take much less damage when they're turning, at least. And he cut off her tail. Thank you, Tiberius. we can carve that whenever there's a safe moment. And she's trying to doing her low swoops. I can actually hit her in the, well, other attacks can hit her in the air too, but I like to kind of ground pound her while she's doing that. And that looked like a little bit of lag. It looked like she landed and he got hit away a couple seconds later. Is she getting tired? Let's take a free shot at her face. I don't believe I knocked her out yet, which is very uncharacteristic of me. There she's flying. Oh, dive. Oh, he narrowly avoided that. Oh, and I was running out of stamina there, so I just did the twirl and tried to break it off early. If you're doing the twirl and you hit an attack on, you'll do an attack, but if you do it on the third or fourth swing, I believe it's, you'll do like the upswing, with which the hammer has a lot of knockout on it. It's a great attack to use. I rarely use a spin because each spin is pretty weak, and so it kind of wastes your sharpness. It's awesome though if you have, oh, and I missed the ground pound there. It's really awesome though if you have a status ailment, because it'll stack with each hit. Oh, she's tired because she's fallen down. Let's hope she turns into this. And boom, hit her. Oh, and she ran me over anyway. Yep. That's the way it happens though sometimes. She's running around again. Gotta love that. When a monster's so tired, its only means of attack is to run at you and fall on its own face. So I'm going to take the opportunity to look around for anything that might hit me while I'm really weak. Carve the tail while she's on the other side of the room. You want to carve the tail when it's safe. And there's her dangerous flip kick. You want to carve the tail when it's safe. You don't want to do it in the middle. Don't be crazy and don't take chances. That's why I dodged out of the charge there. It's not worth holding the charge. I've done that sometimes where you just hold the charge and you're like, well, maybe I'm outside of its range. It's not worth doing. It's always worth it to get out. Ooh, good ground pound there. I should also note that I'm fighting over the fire hammer, which is also a dumb thing to do. Oh, and she's weak. Look at her limping away. See, it's fairly obvious when most monsters limp. I'm going to take a couple shots at her. Maybe we can stun her. And oh, she's roaring. Sorry, and then put that away. And she's not painted, and the Qurupeco is not painted either. Great. Get back here, you fat bearded bit.